Thank you for viewing my presentation today. My name is John Rudnik, and I'm a PhD student at the University of Michigan School of Information. I'll be presenting our recent work titled CareJournal, a voice-based conversational agent for supporting care communications. This research was conducted in collaboration with co-authors, also from the University of Michigan, and UC San Diego, as well as my advisor, Professor Brewer. I'm excited to share an overview of our work today. Let's dive in. As people age, they often require new care relationships and routines to maintain their quality of life and independence. The majority of care for older adults is actually provided by unpaid family members or close friends, rather than paid caregivers. Taking on these new care roles affects all aspects of the lives of both older adults and their caregivers in significant ways. The transition to new care relationships and daily routines can be emotionally and physically challenging for older adults. Communication issues between caregivers and care recipients can pose significant challenges to both care partners' well-being and the overall care relationship. Conflicts often emerge around differing perceptions of the care recipient's needs, the division of care responsibilities, and the level of appreciation shown to the caregiver for their efforts. These misalignments in expectations and lack of open dialogue can breed resentment and emotional tension. Moreover, as care partners take on new roles to support each other, they may experience what's called relational deprivation, a sense of loss of the previous nature of their relationship, whether that was as spouses, parents and children, or close friends. The demands of caregiving can overshadow and strain these pre-existing relational bonds. The consequences of these communication breakdowns are impactful. Unresolved conflicts, unspoken frustrations, and unmet emotional needs take a toll on both the caregiver and care recipient. It affects their mood, self-esteem, and overall quality of life. In this paper, we describe our approach to supporting care communication between older adult care recipients and family caregivers. Our research was guided by the three key questions. First, what communication challenges do care partners encounter in their care practices? Second, how do care partners navigate the tension between care and independence through their communication practices? And finally, how do care partners envision computer-mediated care communication fitting into their relationships? Our research makes three contributions to the field of human-computer interaction and the study of care relationships. First, we provide design and methodological considerations for HCI practitioners seeking to develop technologies to support care practices. Our diary study findings and the design of CareJournal offers insight into the communication challenges faced by care partners and how conversational agents can be designed to facilitate meaningful discussions. Second, our work extends existing research on the role of distance in intimate relationships. By analyzing care partners' interactions and perceptions of CareJournal through the lens of physical, emotional, experiential, culture, and power-based differences, we shed light on how distance shapes communication practices and the potential utility of technology in care contexts. Finally, we further ongoing conversations in the HCI community about the tensions between care and independence, building upon work by scholars like Cynthia Bennett and colleagues. Our prototype evaluation interviews reveal how care partners articulate and navigate these tensions in their own relationships and how they envision technology mediating these dynamics. Through these contributions, we aim to advance both the theoretical understanding and practical design of technologies to support the complex and intimate world of care. Our research builds upon and extends prior work in several key areas. First, we draw upon existing scholarship examining the role of distance in intimate relationships. HCI researchers have explored how to support family connections and interactions across various dimensions of separation, such as physical distance between households, age gaps between siblings, and the relationship challenges after divorce or due to work demands. These studies highlight the diversity and complexity of family dynamics, prompting reflection on how we define family and evaluate interventions to support them. However, most HCI efforts to support older adults and their caregiving has focused on monitoring technologies to track health and well-being. Critics argue this approach can disrupt care routines and threaten the autonomy of older adults. In response, some researchers advocate for alternative designs that facilitate communication and emotional connection between care partners. For example, Sherry Turkle argues in her book Alone Together that digital technologies can erode the intimacy and empathy that characterize meaningful human relationships. With this perspective in mind, we critically examine the potential for technology to enable disclosure and emotional connection. Our prototype design integrates research on self-disclosure, defined as sharing personal information about oneself, and conversational scaffolding to guide intimate discussions. By synthesizing work from all three areas, we aim to develop a nuanced approach to designing technologies to support the complex interpersonal dynamics of care relationships. We conducted a two-part study to investigate the challenges and opportunities around communication in care relationships. In Study 1, our goal was to identify the key communication challenges faced by care partners. We recruited 5 family caregivers and 14 older adult care recipients, and conducted a 2-week diary study where participants logged meaningful interactions, sources of stress, and difficulties in communicating with their care partner. Findings from the diary study highlighted caregivers' desires for positive emotional connection despite the challenges of providing care. Care recipients expressed concerns about emotional fluctuations and loss of autonomy. These insights informed the design of our prototype, CareJournal. In Study 2, we aim to evaluate the usability and utility of the CareJournal prototype and gain a deeper understanding of care partners' current communication practices. We recruited 20 pairs of family caregivers and older adult care recipients and conducted prototype evaluation interviews with each pair. The interviews shed light on the prototype's perceived usability and utility for participants. Perhaps more importantly, the discussions provided rich insight into care partners' communication habits, challenges, and strategies for navigating tensions between providing care and maintaining independence. We identified key pain points and designed a potential technology-based intervention and critically examined its fit and implications within the complex dynamics of real-world care relationships. 4 key themes emerged from participants' diary entries. First, caregivers emphasized the importance of positive communication and emotional connection for better interactions and overall well-being. On the other hand, care recipients expressed a range of emotions and a strong desire for meaningful communication and connection with loved ones. Caregivers also discussed the challenges of maintaining support despite the difficulties that they faced. Finally, care recipients expressed struggles with the loss of autonomy, independence, and frustration over needing assistance. These findings highlight the complex emotional landscapes navigated by care partners and the critical role of communication in these relationships. The insights gained from the diary study directly informed the design considerations for CareJournal. Based on the findings from our diary study and insights from prior work, we identified several key design considerations for the prototype. First, we wanted the conversational prompts to elicit both positive and negative aspects of the care experience. By encouraging users to share a balanced perspective with their care partners, we aim to facilitate open dialogue and collaboration. Second, we focused the prompts on forward-looking disclosure. Rather than dwelling on past issues, we sought to foster a constructive mindset and sense of autonomy by having users share their desires and expectations for future interactions. Third, we kept the prompts short and simple. Long, complex questions could be distracting or confusing. Fourth, we provided options to skip prompts or re-record responses. These features support user agency and allow for greater clarity of expression. If a prompt doesn't resonate, the user can simply move on. Finally, we made sharing the responses with care partners optional. We recognize that users may want to vent privately without impacting their relationship. Having control over disclosure shows respect for autonomy of caregivers and care recipients. By incorporating these considerations around balanced perspective, future orientation, simplicity, user control, and optional sharing, we aim to create a tool informed by the complexities of care that could meaningfully support and enhance communication between care partners. Our design considerations directly informed the development of the CareJournal conversational agent, resulting in a conversational flow for care partners based on their roles. Our paper includes a more readable diagram and links to the web-based prototypes we built using VoiceFlow. As we analyzed the prototype evaluation interviews, the concept of distance emerged as a key factor shaping care partners' communication practices, how they navigated tensions between care and independence, and their perceptions of CareJournal's potential utility in their relationships. We identified 5 key dimensions of distance. First, physical distance, referring to whether care partners live together or apart. Second, emotional distance, determined by care partners' differing emotional responses when discussing disagreements. Third, experiential distance, related to differences in care partners' lived experiences as they navigated life stages and health challenges. Fourth, cultural differences, reflected in participants' discussions of their backgrounds and worldviews. And finally, power-based distance, evident in explicit references to and implicit displays of authority in the care relationship. These dimensions of distance, in various combinations, fundamentally shaped how care partners communicated, managed conflict, and envisioned technology's role in their relationship. Our analysis of the prototype evaluation interviews revealed 3 main themes. First, we found that the distance between care partners across physical, emotional, experiential, cultural, and power-based dimensions shaped their communication modalities and practices. Second, care partners articulated notions of care and independence as they discussed disagreements and tensions in their relationships. Participants highlighted the delicate balance between receiving needed care and maintaining a sense of independence. Finally, participants' evaluations of CareJournal's utility varied based on the nature and closeness of their care relationship. These themes underscore how care partners' unique relationships dynamics and communication patterns shape their potential adoption of technologies like CareJournal. As such, our research makes important contributions to HCI in terms of design considerations, methods reflections, and theoretical discussions. First, We introduce new design considerations for technologies that support care practices and routines between older adults and their caregivers. The diary study insights and CareJournal prototype provide concrete ideas around facilitating balanced perspectives, future-oriented disclosure, simplicity, user control, and optional sharing. Our findings also carry design implications for how HCI practitioners can approach designing for distance in intimate relationships, highlighting how multiple dimensions of distance shape care partners' communication needs and technology perceptions. These can guide HCI practitioners in developing tools sensitive to the complex and emotional experiences inherent to care relationships. We also offer methodological reflections for the HCI community based on our experience with prototype testing. Evaluating a conversational agent with older adult caregiver pairs who may have varying levels of interest in using such a technology required careful thought. We share lessons learned about respecting participant autonomy, mitigating power imbalances, and interpreting feedback in light of relational contexts. These insights can inform how HCI practitioners co-design and evaluate prototypes with care partners. Our work also extends ongoing theoretical discussions in HCI around the tensions between care and independence, building on scholarship discussing interdependence's significance in HCI. By analyzing how participants articulated these concepts in navigating disagreements and envisioning technology use, we add nuance to abstract ideals of care and autonomy. While our study provided valuable insights into care partners' communication practices and perceptions of a conversational agent, it's important to acknowledge some limitations. First, we had an uneven number of participants in terms of caregivers and care recipients in the diary study, with more care recipients than caregivers. This could limit the generalizability of these findings. However, older adult care recipients are often underrepresented in research on care and technology, so their increased participation helps provide a more comprehensive perspective to the field. Second, by conducting the prototype evaluation interviews remotely, our sample may have been biased towards participants who are generally more comfortable with technology. The online format could have deterred less savvy individuals from participating. It's also crucial to recognize the broader context and complexities of the care landscape in the United States. Care work is heavily gendered and culturally undervalued, contributing to inequalities faced by both paid and unpaid caregivers. While technology can help address some challenges, it is not a comprehensive solution to these deep structural issues. Our work represents one avenue among many to support older adults and caregivers. Looking ahead, there are several exciting opportunities for future research. Perhaps future research could conduct a study in non-Western cultural contexts as notions of care and independence vary across societies. In addition, future work could include the perspectives of long-distance caregivers, given the prevalence of this type of caregiving. Future work could also compare a conversational agent to lower-tech solutions like scheduled text reminders. In addition, investigators could conduct a field trial to observe how care partners incorporate the tools into their daily routines and interactions. Finally, future research might explore how conversational agents could be integrated into other care tools and settings, such as healthcare. While this research has limitations, it opens up promising avenues for further investigation to better understand and support the complex and intimate world of care. In summary, our research aimed to understand and support communication between older adult care recipients and caregivers through developing and evaluating CareJournal, a prototype conversational agent. We conducted a two-part study, beginning with a diary study to identify key communication challenges faced by family caregivers and older adult care recipients. These insights informed the design of CareJournal, which aims to scaffold meaningful disclosure and dialogue between older adults and caregivers. In the second part of the study, we evaluated CareJournal through interviews with 20 pairs of care partners. Analyzing these interviews through the lens of distance shed light on how relational dynamics shape communication practices and perceptions of the prototype's utility. Participants provided valuable insight into CareJournal's potential role in their relationships. Some saw it as a tool to facilitate important discussions, align expectations, and navigate tensions between providing care and maintaining independence. Others, particularly those in close relationships, felt the prototype would be less useful given their open communication habits. Our study contributes to ongoing debates in HCI about the complex relationship between technology and emotional connection in intimate contexts like caregiving. We highlight key contributions for theory and practice, offering design considerations, methodological reflections, and extensions to discussions on care, independence, and distance in relationships. Looking ahead, we identified several promising avenues for future work, such as exploring the use of conversational agents in diverse cultural contexts with long-distance caregivers and in tandem with other care tools and settings. Ultimately, this research underscores the importance of centering voices and lived experiences of older adults and caregivers in our efforts to sensitively design technologies that can meaningfully support the complex and intimate world of care relationships. At this point, I would like to open the floor for any questions or feedback that you might have. Your perspectives and insights are valuable in furthering this important work. For those who have additional questions later or would like to discuss potential collaborations, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can find my contact information here on the slide. Feel free to email me at jrudnik@umich.edu. I look forward to continuing our conversation and hearing your valuable perspectives.